everybody, and welcome back to Thrasher's Ghetto Fab Garage. We continue working here on the 32 Ford project, and this is going to be part 2 of the inner structure we're working on. And as you can see behind me here, got the dimple holes there. See, I got this side is completely done, front to back. And so we're going to lay this out, and we need to do the driver's side here. So I'm going to get that set up, show you guys how I drill these holes, how I kept them straight, and they're pretty good. So I'll show all that. So I'll use the dimple dies, shrinker stretcher to make there's a slight curve to all that, and so we'll get that set up here and get that on videos. So before I even start this driver's side, I'm going to show this here. I did have the first piece I made in there, and I didn't really care for it, and it wasn't very straight, and I just didn't like it, so I had to end up getting it out of there. So the first thing I did today was cut about 15 spot welds there, and you can see the mess that was to get that out of there, and that is why I screw everything together. And it seems like every time I decide that it's good and I weld it in, then I have to take it back out. So there it is. So anyways, that piece is out, and now I can start building these the dimple holes on this side. Alright, so the first thing I did here is you can see I got these 2-inch pieces of 16 gauge. I had these cut at the local fab shop on a shear. That way I know they're exactly 2 inches wide and completely straight. Working here when you don't have, you're cutting with a cutoff wheel and trying to make stuff straight. You can get it pretty close, but on a stretch this long, you're going to see any waves in it. So I mean, that's just going to really makes it a lot easier to do here. So I got started. What I did is I took a piece of this band iron here, and I cut it off, so this is exactly the same width as everything. And what I did is I made myself a drill gauge here, and just a tip, whatever. Start with the smallest pilot hole you can, because these do start to wear out. And this one's, as you get larger, like this thing it's not very thick. It's the same thickness as that 16 gauge. And if you had a piece of 1/8 inch or a piece of 1/4, it would really hold that. If you were doing a lot of holes, this worked just fine for what I had to do. But as you start to get up to like a 5/16 hole or 3/8, 5/16 probably, it's hard to get the bit to stay where it's supposed to stay. So this one is wore out. So you can see I did run out here. So what I did is I drilled one, and then I stacked all 3 pieces together. Then drilled all 3. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this first here, and then I'll just take the other one, set it on top, and finish drilling this one, and then I'll have the piece to make the driver's side dimple holes. The last one will be something around the back window. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing there yet, but I just wanted to get it all started. So I wanted to show this device here, and you can kind of see the drill guide worked the same way, but I laid it on there, and it's everything's centered, everything where it needs to be, and then I can take and just take my drill and just run right through. I'll keep the clamp nice and tight here, and just move on right down and finish this piece up. And there you go. All fairly evenly spaced holes. And now I'm going to cut the length and get it up in the car here and show you guys how I make that curve with my shrinker structure. And then we'll go ahead and start drilling 3 4-inch holes for the dimple dies. here's the shrinker, handle stretch right here, basic tools. So I'm going to take that and start shrinking that bottom to try to get this to curve. As you can see it on there, it's completely straight. See in there, that little bit of shrinking I just did, it's already starting to take somewhat of a curved shape. So I'll toss it back here in the car again and again and again and again, and we will test it this thing. So it makes, you put it in there until it fits. Alright, there it is. Pieces fit. Fits pretty well. And I'm going to pull it out here now and do a bunch of drilling. I might do it off camera. Just got to throw it here in my drill press and drill at least a 3/4. And then I'll show you the dimple tool. Alright, so I got the piece here. It's all drilled. All my 3/4 inch holes here. I did that in the drill press, like I said, off camera. Getting everything out, got all the burrs off it. Just wanted to show how easy it is to use these dimple dies. Got a set of 3 of these about a year ago. I just wanted to set half, 3/4, 1. And what you're going to do is make sure you're going the right way. Stick it in the vise. Got a little WD on there. Turn until it stops. Now you can use your press too. I haven't done that yet. I've only used my vise. It's working pretty well on this thinner stuff. But show that. There's the dimpled hole, and you can kind of see how it distorted it a little bit. But I'll hammer that flat, and then I'll go ahead and do the rest of the camera here. And there it is. All the dimpled speed holes done on that piece. Gonna go ahead and get this mounted back in the car here, and we'll go on to the next thing, which we probably build the well, we got to build the part that goes on the back window and the part that ties into the front window. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next, but I'm gonna get this back in the car and we'll figure it out from there. All right, here's the dimpled holes piece, whatever it is, back in the car. Come out, looks really, really good. And I just got to click out of there for now. And I'm going to move on to the front. I need to make this piece here, so I made this cardboard template. Start with that, get in there, and I'll get that cut out of steel. Get that tacked in here next, and we'll finish the front off first, and then to the back, finish the same way. We just got to make a cardboard template there for the curve, and then tie it all together. So get the first piece down here in the front, and then we'll move on to that. All right, get that front piece welded in there. Just a little more welding on the bench there, but got it. It's not going anywhere. So get that on the bench, clean that weld up, grind it smooth, and then lay out the holes. And I'll get those holes figured out. You can see on this side, kind of a 1/2-inch hole, and I did 3 of them, kind of to try to keep that spacing the same, and go with the smaller holes. So gonna do the same, carry the same design over here. Try to get as close as I can to the other side. And I get that laid out on the bench here, and keep rolling with this project. Okay, moving along here on the dimple holes on the structure part of the body here, and just work myself around the window, and then eventually down to here. And you can see, I just this is just a placeholder I put in here that I can so I'll be able to see, run that down with the dimpled holes. Can't do that yet because I don't know exactly how these holes are going to lay out spacing wise. So I needed to get this piece in here first. So I started with just a beer box cardboard template here and made that. Kind of cut a rough shape out on the bench. More concerned about this curve here, just because I wanted to make sure that that kind of stays the same. Yeah, it's a little bit wide, but I think it'll be just fine considering what piece it is here. And also, you can see how it is a little bit wider. I made it about 2 1/8 instead of 2-inch, and the reason I did that is I want to get this curve dialed in first, and then I'll take my square, my combination square, and I'll run it along here to get this 2-inch piece correct. Once I do that, then I'll go ahead and lay out my holes. I can see where those are going to be, drill those, and then continue on down. So I'll just get the spacing anyways and put it back in the car. So I'm going to pop it out of the car here, set up on the bench, and I'll show you how I get the holes all laid out and get it finished to the next step. So here's the piece out of the car. I got the 2-inch line marked on there. It's hard to see. It's pencil, so it's hard to see. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I got it on there. Just used my combination square. Did one of these here like this, and just scribe the line around. Sure, there's probably more accurate ways to do it, but that worked, and it should be pretty straight. Checked it with my ruler here. So I'm gonna get the time lapse set up. I'm gonna cut that, trim that to fit, and then lay out the holes. So you saw in the time lapse there, I got the holes lined out, the pilots drilled, and they look pretty good. I've checked them multiple times, and they should line up. Hopefully, well, when it's all said and done. I think it is also a little harder to see any kind of variances on a curve like this than you are in a straight line. But hopefully, I got those. This one maybe just a touch low, so we'll see on that one. But all in all, looks pretty good. One thing that looks a little odd here. I'm gonna see if I can cheat this up a little bit, because as I've measured it out right now, the center line is 2 inches. You can see I'm kind of in a weird spot there to hit another hole. So if I can move that up about 1 inch would be great. Or this, if I can cut this off here like 1 inch. So I'll get this drilled, get it back in the car, and see how that lines up. So it would be nice to not have to worry about that, and I could just cut this off and do whatever I got to do to put the straight piece on, instead of trying to have it drill through a weld or whatever. So let me get these drilled, let me get it back in the car, and we will see where we're at. Here's the piece in the car. Got the holes drilled. Come out pretty symmetrical, I believe. And I also did the dimple die and everything. Got that the curve there completely done, and did move on to this piece here. And got that dimple dyed, and we'll be able to cheat that up, like I said earlier, clip there. Look right here. I measured my 2 inch distance, figured out what that was, where I needed the bottom of this to be, and then now I'll be able to take and just scribe a line on here and cut that off. And that way I can just weld that in there, and then that'll be done. So I'll get this up on the video here, just get this welded, and then we'll move to the front and finish lining the holes up there, and this actually will be done. So I wanted to show the front holes laid out here, the 1/2 inch holes, the 3 smaller ones here. And you can see I got them laid out on there, and I kind of use this trick that I use, slated washers on there, and these washers about the same size as what the dimple part is going to be, like the outside here, kind of the depression. And so I laid them out there. This one I centered right in the middle. It was just 5/8 inch here, 5/8 here, 5/8 here. Set that one as my starting point, and then same 5/8 here, 5/8 here, 5/8 here, and then I just tried to somewhat eye it up so it has a center line kind of curve that rolls here. So some of the stuff I just do by eye, and I think that's going to be pretty good. I got the pilot holes drilled there, and if I can get this drilled and get this dimple dyed, and this project is almost done. And there it is with the 1/2 inch holes in there. Dimple die's done, and I think it flows well. It seems to have a nice. Let's see, from here on through, seems to be centered, kind of centered here. And that's kind of a weird transition to make. I think that's probably the best way I could come up with to do it. So we're gonna go with that. We're gonna hit this back in the car again, and I got one more bracket on each side. I got to make, should be pretty quick here, and then we're gonna wrap up this part 2 of the structure. So here's the driver's side all done. Back in the car. There's the 3 small holes in the front. I think they come out all right. And the rest of it here, as you can see. And then I said I was going to make some small brackets. So I made these back here. Just a simple L bracket right now. You can see everything is clecoed in or screwed in at this point. I don't want to weld anything until everything is done. I still got to build the tie the rockers in, make sure I get finish all these patch panels here. So I make sure everything is in the car and nothing has to move. I made that mistake too many times. I weld something in, I got to move it around. So everything's gonna stay clecoed and screwed for now. And also you can see the next step I believe I'm going to work on here is I got this wood, the wood bows in here, and they're just sitting in here right now. And I'm gonna have to start building something to hold these up. Again, more inner structure stuff. I think I'm gonna do some kind of bracket here off the B pillar, and then do something that comes off the back window and goes down. So I haven't quite figured all that out yet, but I just wanted to get the wood in here tonight just to see what it's gonna look like. I did get that about a year ago. I did not make that, I just bought a kit. And I think it's gonna make a nice contrast between all the metal and then the wood there. We're gonna call this part 2 of the inner structure. And I just want to say thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time at Thrasher's Ghetto Fab Garage.